Welcome back. Welcome back. So, here comes our next topic of the session, right buyers. Under right buyers, we are having three subtopics. Then we are going to cover getting response from buyers in the first attempt. And lastly, we'll do Q&A. So, stay tuned till the end. Before we dive deep, we need to confront a myth. Buyer is not God. Buyer Bhagwan nahi hai. Deep in our minds, we think buyer is God. And that's where all problems start. In fact, some buyers are actually devils. Buyer and supplier relationship is based on mutual benefit. I repeat this statement. Buyer and supplier relationship is based on mutual benefit. How many of you will agree with that? Buyer too needs a reliable supplier, a quality supplier. They too are looking for right supplier as much as you want a buyer. Yes or no? So let us now see what happens if you have wrong buyers. So maybe you are tired of dealing with buyers with low profit margins, stagnant growth. Buyers keep asking for discount, which is squeezing your margin, sending samples to buyers without business, without orders, calling borderline numbers without getting response, sending thousands of emails and brochures with no response. In next 15 minutes, we are going to solve all these problems once for all permanently. We'll do 4 exercises like we did for products. You see, system is simple and simple systems work. The first exercise, we will classify buyers into 4 categories. Here is a chart quite similar to what we created for products. The first buyer type is energy suckers. They dip the energies. They not only dip the energies, but they also choke your bandwidth. They need high efforts and offer low return. Not only you, but they also believe that buyer is God and they have a right to lot of privileges. They are unhappy buyers. They always keep complaining, keep cribbing. They keep your entire system on toes and they dip the energies of entire team. Example, you have a tile shop. You sell tiles for home. Example of an energy sucker buyer. A person walks in, he needs to fix one single broken tile in his bathroom. He needs a particular color and model and design. And he now engages you and your team to search for the tile, lectures you about your duty to serve him and the delay caused by you and how unorganized you and your systems are and how others are so super organized and how much you need to learn with them. These buyers we call devils. They are the ones stopping your growth. Do you have this type of buyer? Can you let them go? Why are you working with them? These are some of the questions you need to answer. Second type of buyers are time wasters. They too need high efforts and offer low return. But they are articulate. They are soft-spoken diplomats. They are great rapport builders. They speak of great opportunities which never come. And they give you complex projects, complex tasks you can't refuse. But they do choke your bandwidth and offer very little in return. Same example of tile shop, time waster buyer. The person walks in, well dressed, well mannered, well read. He too needs a single tile, same requirement. But he sweetly explains why it's so important, throws few names and connections to impress you. And you are so impressed. And now it's you who engages your team to search for that tile. They are the buyers we call devils. They are the ones stopping your growth. Do you have this type of buyer? Can you let them go? Why are you working with them? These are the 3 questions you need to answer today. So work with your team and figure out the answers. It's the time you fire these buyers, chokers and time wasters. Is it counterintuitive? Yes, it must be. Because we always believed buyer is God, but that is not true. Now comes the breadwinner. They need high efforts and offer medium returns. Same example of tile shop we will take. A breadwinner, a person walks in, he is building a home. needs tiles for his entire home. He goes through the details, design, samples, colors, takes almost an entire day. But at the end of the day, places a decent order. They are good buyers to have, but they will only get you the bread. Wealth creator is the buyer you must have. These are the buyers who will help you create wealth, and they need low efforts and give super high returns. Sounds counterintuitive, yes or no? I know, yes, but that's true. I'll give an example so this all fits in, it's clear and fits in the place. We take the same example of the tile shop. Now, the buyer is who? Architect and builder. They have your catalog, prices, payment terms are already settled between you and them. When they need tile for a new project, their office team emails the list to your dispatch department. Your team dispatches it, that's it. So can you see that buyer is not God? Some buyers are actually the devil stopping you. Note down what is going on in your business. Can you find your wealth creators? What's possible for you? What's possible now? To grow, you need to clean the mess. Trust me, creation happens in an empty space. This one step alone will double your profits. If you're a startup, you're at a perfect place. Be careful not to bring the mess and start with wealth creators. Now is the time for our next exercise. Apply 80-20 rule or Pareto's principle on buyers. According to Pareto's principle, 80% results come from 20% inputs. Generally, it's a jungle until it is managed well. So what's the status of portfolio of your buyers? Right now, you do this exercise mentally with me, and later please do with your team today itself. The first column are similar, hence let us jump to the analysis. Basically, bandwidth and profit share must be in equal proportion. Any buyer who's consuming more bandwidth out of proportion needs to be evaluated. Why you are working with that buyer? And if there are buyers who consume less bandwidth but give more profit, those are your ideal buyers. Example like buyer 5. So, what if all buyers you have are like buyer 5? Simple. Your sales is going to skyrocket. Yes or no? Will it grow by just 50%? No. It's going to double, triple, or even more. So it's time to fire some buyers. Easier said than done. You need to do this exercise. It's a tough one, I understand, but it is important. Is it counterintuitive? Yes, it must be. But you need to free up your bandwidth for the wealth creators. So, can you see that buyers are not God? And some buyers are actually the devils stopping your growth. Is it a jungle out there? What is possible now? Can you see that this one step alone will double or triple your profits? Note down what's going on in your business and we'll do a live review. To grow, you need to clean up the mess. Trust me, creation happens only in an empty space. And if you're a startup, you're at a perfect place. Be careful not to bring the mess. Do this exercise with the team today itself. Take action, be an action taker. Thank you. We now take up threat assessment exercise of buyers. We keep hearing a large buyer has gone bankrupt, a large buyer has slowed down, a large buyer has stopped making payments, not lifting the orders, cancelled the orders. Sounds familiar? Yes or no? Such incidents not only have the potential to wipe up your entire year's profit, but sometimes the blow can make you bankrupt. Doing this exercise will insulate your business from such sudden shocks. So can you see in column 3 is overall growth rate. That's total growth rate of this buyer. Last column is of number of suppliers. Data of these two columns you can get it from woolza.com. Rest of the data you must be already having it. Now let's analyze buyer 1. This buyer is growing at 35%. But business with you is negative by 25%. This is a red flag. This buyer is diverting his business to other suppliers and you may lose this buyer. You need to find out what's lacking at your end and what you can do to resolve this. Are you learning something? Awesome. So buyer 2 has both growth rates going down, and payments are also irregular. Now, this is another red flag. This means this buyer growth is poor and payments are also poor, and 25% of your profits are at risk. You need to find an alternative buyer and find a way to secure your payments with this buyer. Make sense? Awesome. Buyer 3 has overall growth rate going down, but growth rate with you is going up. This is a huge red flag because this buyer may be unable to source from other suppliers. When you do this exercise, you will save your business from such shocks. And if you are a startup, then you must do this exercise. Be very careful. Don't fall into the trap of getting an order. Getting an order and getting a payment is more important. Yeah? Are you with me? Awesome. So how do we do this buyer's analysis? Simple. Go to volza.com's advanced search. Type the buyer name and hit the search button. And then we go to relationships. Here we can analyze relationships of each buyer. What kind of supplier they have, how many suppliers they have, what's the frequency of their shipments, how much they are buying, how often they are buying. So can you see the threats in your business? You need to be proactive. You need to insulate your business. If you're a startup, you're most vulnerable. You're likely to fall into the trap. So be careful. Please make sure you don't attract wrong buyers. How many of you would like to check this out on your buyers on volza.com? Great. Note down what's opening up and we'll do a live share later. Estimate profit potential and risk involved. Build a consensus. It's not easy to fire the buyers. Discuss with stakeholders. If they are not aligned, you know what to do. Send them to my next webinar and I'll do your job. Discuss how to retain good buyers or increase your share with them. Firing buyers is not easy. Increasing new buyers is also not easy. Doing all these exercises will clean up the mess and will create a strong and urgent need to tap into new buyers. In fact, a lot of you will not start cleaning up exercises. You would first want to ensure you get some good buyers. Yes or no? I completely get that. So let us get started. So here comes the question. What stops us from going after wealth creators? Why can't we have all our buyers are not wealth creators? Simple. We have never targeted wealth creators. We just worked with everybody who walked in because buyer is God. But now it's all going to change. You'll figure out the how-tos. Find right and active buyers who are likely to respond. You're going to judge their credibility. You're going to get their direct phone, email, LinkedIn profiles of the right decision makers. We are going to bulk connect on LinkedIn on our very first attempt. And we are going to get their response the very first attempt. These are some of the challenges, but there is a solution. Trust me, it's not tough at all. It just needs a change in your lead generation process. And of course, a serious change. With Volza, it's possible. Before we begin, let us get little demanding. So we define a dream buyer. So we take 4 parameters: profit margin, growth rate, value, credibility. You can define the parameters that suit you. This is just an example. So now, can we find these dream buyers? Is it not too much for asking? Looks like a list which is quite ambitious. No, because we have a magical solution. Volza.com. It offers not 1 but 3 ways to find profitable buyers, dream buyers, wealth creators. First way is the simplest. We'd go to advanced search, select the target country, or we can select global search. We type out our product and HS code to make the results more precise. The power of advanced search is that you can add as many parameters using the green plus sign, and you can get very precise results. Volza will come up with a list of buyers in the importer summary with their market share. You can also analyze buyers' products and understand what are the products with high growth rate and low growth. So you can analyze the buyer profile. You can now click on the relationship pivot to understand relationship of each buyer. What kind of supplier they have, how much they are buying, what is the price. You can choose buyers on the basis of their buying volume and frequency of their buying. This analysis is going to reveal a lot. By studying the suppliers, prices, and volumes will give you a good idea where do you fit, where does the buyer fit. It has to be a matchmaking. You can make your strategy here. Which buyer is a right fit? Which buyer is an ideal buyer for you? You need to shortlist the buyers and save them on Volza. We have to understand we don't want to work with thousands of buyers. You need to shortlist maybe 100 buyers, not more than that. Because if you're going to have a huge list, you're going to delegate, do spamming, bulk mailing, that's not going to work. So instead of that, we will just shortlist maybe 50 or 100 dream buyers, and then we are going to work on them one-to-one, personalized. Yeah, maybe you should not delegate work yourself, or you should delegate to somebody who is responsible and intelligent enough to do this task. Actually, if you just get 20 buyers, that's good enough. Get 10 dream buyers, that's good enough. Yes or no? So don't expand the list. You have to squeeze the list to very few buyers. Another way to find ideal buyers is to find buyers of your competitors or peers. Just go to advanced search, type the competitor name or a peer's name and hit the search button. And Volza will come up the list of buyers, and rest of the process is same. Third way to find a dream buyer is to find buyer's buyer. This can result in extremely profitable dream buyers for you if your buyer is a trader. It may also reveal new products with maybe very little value addition. Just type your buyer's name and hit the search button. Volza will show the list of buyers, and rest of the process is same. Sound simple? Yes or no? Volza makes it super easy for you. So what's opening up? If you're a startup, this is a great place to start with right buyers, and your journey could be very fast to success. You have to take action. Take action. Be an action taker. And who will take this action? You. And when you revamp your buyer portfolio, when you clean up the mess, and you find your dream buyers,